Yeah, I see it says live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to a Facebook Live interview with the Spine Health Foundation. I'm Ericka Andersen from the Spine Health Foundation, and today I'm speaking with Heather Childers. She's a Fox News anchor who recently underwent neck surgery and has made a pretty awesome recovery. Heather, welcome, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's definitely my honor.
Yes, thank you. We were so glad to connect with you. After seeing your story last year, we just knew that you were someone we wanted to talk to. And luckily we were able to do that. Before we get into the interview, I just want to talk briefly about, spinal issues in America. There are 99 million Americans who suffer from spinal health issues. That's really more than a lot of other diseases combined. It's a huge problem. And yet a lot of people don't even know where to begin, what their options are, or how something like surgery can really be successful in helping them get their lives back and live without pain. At the National Spine Health Foundation, we want people to know there's hope. And we've got a lot of success stories like yours, Heather, to share with our friends. And so I would love to start off just by your story. Heather, could you just tell us, what is your story? How did you end up figuring out you had this issue and then ultimately ending up getting surgery?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely everything that you just said is so valid. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, because I think, we need to get the word out even more, because one of my issues was I didn't really realize what the symptoms were. And I also was offering excuses for the different symptoms that I was having, because I worked very, very early morning hours. So I was attributing them to being tired or being stressed, different things like that. The initial symptoms that I was experiencing were heavy legs. My legs would go numb. I couldn't turn my neck really at all anymore, but I just thought it was a stiff neck. Finally, I was literally falling on my face at the airport. I remember specifically I was going home for Mother's Day weekend and I fell flat on my face. And even then, I still did not go in to figure out what was going on. It was only when it impacted me on air during my show. I was having some shooting pains going up through this eye, and I kept flinching on the air that day. And so I immediately after that went and had some, like an MRI done. Luckily, the person that I went to, she looked at my symptoms. She kind of checked my reflexes, different things like that. And she had me do an MRI of my head and my neck, because she instantly recognized that there was probably something going on in here with my neck.
And so then what happened after that? What was the next step? Because from what I read what you wrote. You had to act pretty quickly.
I did. I had waited way too long, to be honest, because with the surgery, I was told that they could only guarantee that they would stop the symptoms from where they were, meaning that they wouldn't get worse. They couldn't guarantee me that they would get better. So I'm still at that phase right now where I'm hoping that they'll get better, because my surgery was really just a little over a year ago. But I went to 4 or 5 different neurosurgeons to try to get different opinions. And everyone said the same exact thing. I needed surgery, and I needed it very quickly, on 3 levels of my spine, in my neck. So I ended up with implants and a metal plate. And the surgery was successful, opened up my spine where it was compressing on my spinal cord in those areas. And the compression was, I'm no doctor, and I saw the images and I knew, whoa, that's not good. But the surgery was a success, and now I'm just, getting towards healing.
Now, were you fearful of surgery? Had you ever considered getting surgery before? Had you had any other surgeries?
Well, initially, and they believe that this is when this started, I had a car wreck when I was 16, and it was pretty bad. I had a huge tree head on. The car that I was driving was a 64 Corvair, beautiful candy apple red, but silver metal steering wheel, and the engine in those cars was in the back, not in the front. So the whole front of the car came in. And obviously I had neck injuries that I was not even aware of. But I had a lot of trauma to my face. And so I've had surgeries for many years.
Okay.
On that.
And or what was your recovery like? So you did that surgery fairly quickly, and you said it's been 1 year. So what's the recovery process been like for you?
Yeah. You asked me if I was worried about it. I didn't have
Oh,
time to worry about it.
yeah, right,
I
exactly.
really didn't. And, but yeah, the recovery process, was actually fairly easy. I had to wear a neck brace. I live in New York now, so I had the surgery here, with Dr. Paul McCormick, who was awesome. And, I recovered here in New York for 10 days, and then they said I could get on a plane, and I flew home to my parents, and I recovered there for the rest of the time. I think I was out of work for 8 weeks, 7 weeks, 7 weeks. But my work doesn't involve a lot of moving around, heavy lifting, that type of thing. But I was able to get back within 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's interesting. One thing we note at the Spine Health Foundation is that knee surgery, hip surgery, all that kind of stuff is very common, and people recommend it and it works. And it seems like there's a little bit of a stigma against having back and neck surgery. What would you say to someone who's being told, hey, this will improve your life, but they're just kind of worried because they hear negative things about it?
Right. I will tell them that it's definitely worth it. In my case, I was headed very quickly down the road to certainly being paralyzed. 100% is the quote that I was given. So I definitely needed it to improve my life. I'm still experiencing numbness in one of my legs, but that's, as I mentioned, what I'm hoping will eventually go away. My neck, I don't know if you can see this, I couldn't turn my neck at all.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I can completely turn my neck, which to me is amazing because I don't even know how long it was that I had a stiff neck, and I just, offered excuses for it. That wasn't my primary reason for getting the surgery by any means, but that, just shows that it definitely has improved my life.
Now, did you feel before all this happened, did you feel that you were kind of undereducated about spine health in general?
Absolutely, 100%. And so that's why I do try to share with people, what symptoms to look for. And because I had no idea that perhaps this is just completely being uneducated and not being a medical professional, but everything that's connected right here in my spinal cord, and this area. Am I frozen?
Not to me. I think
Okay.
you're good on the screen. I hope everyone else can see you.
Okay, there you
We'll
are.
just roll with it.
Anyway, I just think that it's great, and it's very necessary to be educated on what the symptoms are and what they can be related to, and spinal health in general.
Yeah, I think a lot of people may not even realize, hey, your neck, your back, your head, like that stuff is all connected. There are so many, and there are so many options out there, and it's increasingly more of them. It's like as more research money is raised, as technology improves, there are so many different options, surgery being one of them, different kinds of surgery. How did you really start to educate yourself in that way?
Well, it was, out of a matter of necessity. As soon as I figured out what I needed to have done, obviously I started researching the different groups available, the different areas where I could, find out more information about what was available and what was out there. And I actually did find the Spine Health Institute online. And I think I started following them. And so that was just one area where I could get, the information I needed. As a reporter and as a journalist, I want to be as educated as I can be, in terms of doing research before I go and, get some surgery done, that type of thing. And so that was really helpful.
Yeah, at the Spine Health Foundation, we have tons of resources and research about different aspects of spinal health care. You can visit spinehealth.org if you want to learn more. We have all kinds of information that patients can trust, like stories of success that you can look to as sort of inspiration. Now, Heather, day to day now, is there anything that you're doing for daily maintenance? What are you looking forward to in the future? How do you see your future in regards to your spinal health now?
Well, quite simply, I see myself not being paralyzed, which I did not, know was something that was a reality for me. And when I even say it still, that just seems like that's not possible, that that's going to happen to me. That's just craziness. But it was. And now, thank goodness, because this type of surgery was available and I was able to, meet up with a great doctor, let me say a great surgeon, because he did such a great job. I now look forward to a happy and healthy life. I'm back at exercising. I try to get on the elliptical. I'm not like bouncing up and down yet,
Right.
that type of thing. But I probably could be. That's just me being a little bit cautious. So, just I'm looking forward to getting all my mobility back in terms of the numbness in my leg. I'm hopeful that that will stop, although that's not guaranteed. But it's a tremendous difference. I don't have that heaviness in my limbs anymore. As I showed you, I can move my neck. But I did want to say to you that a lot of people have reached out to me online, sharing their different stories. And you're right. I mean, one of the big issues is people are afraid to get the surgery. So they were very interested in my recovery and what I went through, which surprised me. Once I went through this, I found out all the other people that are out there that experience similar symptoms and don't know that, one of the things they need to get checked out is their spine and their spinal health.
Yeah, I have a friend who had had a back issue where the doctors as well told her, hey, if you don't get this surgery, like you could be paralyzed. And so she got the surgery. She's doing well now. And then personally, I have a back surgery story. I had back surgery in 2014 and it really changed my life. I mean, I couldn't sit down at the time. Like I was in excruciating pain. I had the surgery, was completely pain-free, and I still continue to deal with ongoing issues here and there, but I'm perfectly healthy, perfectly capable, can continue to do all the physical activities that I enjoy. And so I think it is important that we kind of like push back on the stigma against back surgery, because I would never want someone to, miss out on a life of pain-free, and being able to do the things they love just because they're scared. So just educate yourselves, I think is what we're saying, and do that. You can do that at our organization, the Spine Health Foundation. And before we go, I just wanted to note everyone that our gala is coming up this Friday, our We've Got Your Back Gala. We're raising money for research. We have an online auction coming up, and folks can bid, so we'll leave the link. Heather, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. I think it's really helpful. I think a lot of people will be glad to hear they're not alone and know that there is hope.
Yeah, thank you so much as well. And thank you for all the work that you're doing there at the Spinal Health Foundation, because, I know it's helping a lot of people to become educated, especially when they have symptoms that they don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Bye.